Satnam. What day are we? Day
9.
9. Day 9. I'm just looking. We are live. I'm burning some incense for you. Would you like some?
I'm toasting. There you go.
This is coffee from before. And a bit later today because I just came back from the dentist. We won't talk about that. All right. Let's just say not talk about that. That's a whole different series. So, how was it for you?
How was it? Relaxing.
You enjoyed it today?
I enjoy it every day. No, it was, it was the same. But one thing I did notice was, you get deeper into your meditation, I guess, or whatever you're sitting.
Space, maybe?
Space? What do you mean space?
Deeper into space?
Yeah,
Into
deep
your own
into
space?
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you just, so you don't spend so much time with the chattery thoughts. You're able to like kind of, oh yeah, chatter, and then you just kind of sink down that next layer. It's just like, I guess it's like peeling an orange or something. You just like, when you first start, you're at this layer and everything's happening, and then you peel off a layer and you get down there a little bit faster. It's like an elevator. There you go.
Onion.
Onion? Yeah, onion.
That's
Onion's
oftentimes in meditation, it's
Yeah.
peeling an onion, and you don't want to get it's not that you want to get to the center. You actually want to peel each layer.
Right.
Right. It's that process of that's the.
Yeah. And so you know, what I noticed is that I didn't have so much, and yesterday as well, but I didn't have so much of the chatter. You know, it's just like all the stuff going, and you're able to just get to a different spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a different spot. And it seems like at some point it's going to be indescribable because you start to have no words for what your experience is. Unless you're thinking about something and you're like, oh, I was thinking about that and this happened. But what if you're not thinking about, like, what if like that process is not happening? So I was thinking that's the thought I had.
But that's interesting, right? Because each day is different.
Yeah.
And one thing we did talk about yesterday afterwards was, because this is your first journey into this, the thinking about the thoughts. You were saying that you don't go in there thinking about, thinking, oh, I need to speak to this person, or I need to,
Or
do
is
this.
something I need to solve.
I need to solve. And when I'm saying that, you can go over here and talk to this person, go over here and solve this, you're not going in there to do that. Mm-hmm. So often in formal meditation, what would happen is you would go in, say you're going in, right? And then you'd be bringing your mind back. So you're not going in and saying, okay, now I'm sitting in my 1 hour sit and drop, and I'm going to sort out that conversation with so-and-so, and I'm going to sort out this. No. But what you're doing is you're just allowing, right? So you're just, like Samaj has been doing, just allowing, and then each day he's had this different thing because he doesn't know what to expect, and he doesn't have any expectations, and there aren't any rules. And so, but that just seemed to want to be clarified yesterday, that yes, go in there, just go in. And if that conversation with so-and-so comes up, and if you want to pursue that, then go off and do it. But you're not using it, you're not all day long writing a list of all the things you're going to do and you sit and drop. Like, okay, so I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to... That's really not the idea.
Right.
The idea is to be in the moment. So it's to go in, and then whatever comes up...
Let it happen. But
and
don't dwell on it.
And in the sit and drop, I would say if it wants you to dwell on it, you can. Okay. And if you want to move on, move on. Right? So you've had less of the bringing the mind back. So I personally think that sitting down for an hour, no matter what you do, is more beneficial than not. Right? So what comes up that day, that is mindfulness, right? Mindfulness would be to deal with what's coming up. Right, rather than to preconceive. So in many ways, I would say that's like the epitome of mindfulness, is to deal with what comes up on the day without any preconceived. So maybe one day you're bringing your mind back, And maybe that's, you're enjoying practice, having fun with that. What was that little one that you did that I said was like Thich Nhat Hanh's 1 to 10?
Oh, I was ABC.
A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Is that it? Just A, B, C, D, E?
Yeah, that's it.
And just A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, just something to bring you back, like, so you don't get, like, just out there with your own thoughts, I mean, you can stay on a thought for the entire meditation, I guess, if you wanted to.
Hours a long time.
Yeah. But
to stay on that thought.
I guess some people could.
But I think as well what happens is the mind has a way of sieving things so you don't necessarily have to think about things, so they could call it the cosmic sieve, to think about all the troubles, all of our thoughts and everything up in this sieve, and then as you sit, even though you're sitting and you think there needs to be a vibration for it but it's not, it's the sitting that allows it, because in motion it must stay still, I guess. Maybe when it's in motion it stays still to like stay aboard, and then when you sit it can jiggle out and it can kind of free and leave us with more of what's left. Yeah, I definitely. So we sat with this because I was feeling anxious and uncertain, and today the voices are coming again, and I've just been to the dentist, and as I said, we'll talk about that another time. But not the best of news, and she's trying to make it like as positive as she can, bless her. So the voices are saying, what are you doing? That's what I'm dealing with right now. Like, what you doing? You're crazy. And you make it seem like everything's okay, and it's not always okay. And it's not. And it is, right? Because that's what we're doing right now. We're being okay with it not being okay, and being okay with that. It's a practice. It truly is. You have a much calmer sensibility, in a Piscean way, more swirly Cancer, and there's a lot going on too. So there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot I want to get out as well, and so just we're about to take a bit of a leap, and we've taken a bit of a leap, and I don't really know. Like today, I'm feeling like I don't really know, but I do know. Huh?
Didn't you feel like that yesterday as well?
Yeah, kind of. And I think that's oftentimes our challenge, is we want to know, or we want to know how we feel, and sometimes we don't know how we feel. We don't have words for it, and we don't have emotions for it, because it's a feeling that is before all of the thoughts and emotions that even are coming, right? And so it's what they come from. And so sometimes if you're sensitive, you can hear those early. If you have been watching your body and your mind, and you can hear these signals early, you get this rumbling of something, and you don't know what it is. And energy is energy. So whether it's excitement energy or anxiety energy, they both hit you in that, like, for me as a Cancer, in the stomach, swirly, and so you can just be, but that's part of it. It's we don't know. And so then when I'm sitting there going, I don't know, then I think, well, that's my invitation to sit there and be okay with, I don't know. And just something I thought about what you said earlier about you seem to be going deeper. So if this was a bike ride, so Samaj and I rode bikes. So if you think about somebody who's maybe they've been around people on bikes, they haven't done a lot of it themselves, but they know, like, you wear your jerseys and you've got they kind of know the stuff, right? And then you say to them, okay, we're going to take out on a 100-mile bike ride tomorrow. Right? And that would be a shock to the system, right? And then you take them out for 9 days doing that, right? And so that's what this meditation's like. It's like when we exercise or when we meditate or whatever we do, we can only go as deep as the time that we're in allows us to go, right? There's no fast way. There's no fast track to sit there and be like, okay, I've only got 6 minutes, so I'm going to use the fast track to get deep into my mind instead of an hour. And so sometimes we may be shortchanging ourselves, or maybe we're not being as effective enough. So my dentist gave me some tips today, and I'm hoping that that helps me. I've spent the time, but maybe not quite right. And so maybe with meditation or with working out, you're putting in the time, but it's not quite in the right way. And so maybe just reallocating that time or spending a little bit more time, so for exercise, oftentimes if you do 20 minutes, half an hour, if that's not high intensity, it's probably not quite enough because your heart rate hasn't got up. And if you go out on a 2 to 3 hour bike ride, maybe that's not enough, depending how fast you're going and what your heart rate's doing. So it's all these things, and the same with our thoughts. It's just, and it ebbs and it flows. And I can sit here right now at 2:12 and say it's like this, and then in 20 minutes it can be completely different. But the main difference that I'm noticing, as I am sitting here noticing, is that in spite of what my words say, the pervasive feeling inside is calm, and anxiety is more about the feeling of calm than it is about anxiety. Who knew one would get anxious about feeling too calm? Why aren't you more worried? Are you out of your goddamn mind? What are you gonna do? Those are completely alien voices to you, aren't they?
Yeah. No, I don't have that going on in my head.
I have no idea what you're talking
Ever.
about.
But that's just...
I'm going to just check if anyone's here. If you're
Yeah,
here, say hi, because I can see the comments.
Yeah, it's
trying
interesting.
to get savvy with this.
That we're all humans, but we're also very different the way we are in ourselves and just how we are on the planet in general. So yeah, I don't have the anxiety voices or that type of stuff. Actually,
Self-worth or not good enough.
I've been kind of pretty chill my entire. My mom says, "Oh, you were the best baby. You were chill. You were quiet. You didn't cry all the time. Just a great baby." And I wasn't a great baby. That was just basically the character I came to the planet with, and so I was gonna have that no matter what. And so I'm not doing anything special. It's not a comparison to anyone else. It's just that's how I arrived here. And then we all arrive spiritually just different, right? We're all different little spirits, and we have all our attributes and things we have to learn and struggle through, and that's a part of being human, I guess. So.
Well, and that's why your way doesn't always work for me, and my way doesn't always work for you.
Exactly.
And that's why for you, it's about finding your way. And I like to think of it as like setting a stage. And so, if our life and our beliefs, our morals, our ethics, our character, our code, that's our stage, right? That's our foundation. And then we can look around at different people, practices and things, and we can bring those in, the aspects that speak to us, and we can leave the ones that don't. We all get so caught up in, oh, that doesn't work for me, oh, that particular thing. But there's like a whole slew of stuff that does. So leave the stuff that doesn't and take the stuff that does, and then build your own stage. And it doesn't have to be a label. There doesn't have to be a definitive label that goes on your stage that says you are this, because you are totally unique. The only similarity we all have is that we're human, and from there on, we are all so very, very, very different. Even as to how, if you cut one heart open and you cut another heart open, what it looks like, how it would heal, how long it would take to heal, how the person would feel, all of that, completely different. So why are we all keep trying to fit in the same bloody box and think that we should be like the other person next to us, or we not as good as these people? Or you look on Facebook and you're like, oh, these people are doing all this stuff and I'm not doing it, or they're so happy, or they're so,
Yeah.
We see, I had a friend sent me a text this week saying that she envied us. She envied my life because I got to sit and drop and take time. And I said, yes, we're blessed. And it's a strange thing about envy is envy doesn't see the swirling tummies, the sleepless nights and everything else that goes on around that. Envy just sees the little bit that it wants to see, right? And but envy can also then be the invitation to see where we can do more of that in our lives as well. So I don't look at envy as a bad thing. I think envy actually is actually saying to us, hey, you want a little more of this, and you're a bit jealous of that person or envious of that person because they've got it. But it also reminds us as well that everything comes with a price, so, and a choice. So, you know, one of the biggest differences between me and my friend is that she has children. I don't. I do get to sit for an hour because I don't have 3 children that might want my attention. It's a little different. But these are what we work within, because we don't want to try and be like the person who doesn't have children if we do have children. My friend, by the way, that's not what she wants to do. She was just having one of those days, and you know, it's always, we have those days, or sometimes we have those lives where we feel that the grass is greener on the other side, and the grass is actually greenest where we water it. That's where the grass is greenest. So, when did you last water your grass? I know you're looking at someone else's grass and saying, oh, he's got wheatgrass he has, and I've only got alfalfa, and so I should be wheat, but I'm alfalfa. Oh no, everyone wants wheat. Oh, I'm the wrong kind of grass.
And everybody says that one's better. I gotta have that
Oh no, I'm so the wrong kind of grass.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
You're not good enough.
Oh no,
Now you're lacking.
me.
You're never gonna be good enough. You have to have alfalfa, for God's sake. Get yourself some wheatgrass.
There's room in this world for all kinds of grass. Whatever your grass is, there's room for it.
Just water it.
Just water it, and don't try and be wheatgrass when you're alfalfa.
That's right.
That's the wisdom from today.
Yeah.
How about that?
And be happy with whatever grass you have. How about that?
Well, yes, because if you're not happy with whatever grass you have, then what will happen is one day you'll look back and you'll wish you had the grass. That's a really good point. You'll wish you had the grass that you thought wasn't good enough.
That's right.
And I can speak to this, and Samaj will tell you, because I've been speaking to him about this. You know, I recently made a pact with myself, because having over 600 videos of myself, where I'm in all of them, I get to see myself in all my incarnations. And there are times when I look back and I go, oh my God, I can remember how I felt in that video. And I didn't think I was whatever. Let's just say quickly that I was thin enough or whatever, or that I was carrying too much weight or whatever it was. And then I got to a point where the old meme of, I wish I was as skinny as when I thought I was fat. There you go. I wish I was as skinny as when I thought I was fat. So there is that. So right now I'm celebrating how I feel as I'm heading towards 50, and I've done a lot of work this year just on keeping my fasting and feasting. It was one agreement I made with myself, and now the sit and drop. And hey, just so many Wolf, South Africa.
Oh, yeah.
Nice one, South Africa.
Hello.
And we're just talking about, you know, appreciating what you have when you have it, because when you don't have it, you may wish that you had what you had when you didn't think that it was enough, which includes you. Again, I said another video, but my teeth, you know, I have a little partial tooth, and there's like little things I don't like about my teeth, and now I'm, you know, faced with maybe losing them all. Now I kind of appreciate them, and so these things can be an invitation for us, not just with my teeth now, to go, where am I doing that elsewhere in my life? I saw I was doing it with my body. Where am I thinking that what I have right now isn't good enough? But if you took some of that away from me, maybe I would think that it was actually what I would want. So we have what we have, and watering it and looking after it is the best thing that we can do.
It has to be good enough. I remember when I was about 13, 14, 12, those years, everybody around me, I'm 5'5", everyone around me, and I grew up in the South, people are generally big, and you know, and healthy and athletic, and they're like, oh, you're gonna sprout up over the summer, because everybody was my height, and then they came back and they were several inches taller, and next year they were several inches more. And they kept telling me, oh yeah, and we used to play the same sports and do the same things, but I wasn't growing at the same rate these guys were. They were like,
or even your brothers.
or my brothers, like I was just, I was gonna be the size and height that I was meant to be. I could still be athletic, but I wasn't gonna be them. I wasn't gonna be LeBron James. Like, it wasn't gonna happen. And so they kept telling me, you're gonna grow. And at some point I had to say, it's not gonna really happen, guys. I'm right here, right now. This is what I got. I gotta be happy with it. And I could have, imagine if I'd just been beating myself up all these years, I can't be a good cyclist. I'm not big enough, or I can't play sports because these guys are, they're just, you just get out there and you enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. Because otherwise, otherwise I could have been battling that my entire life. Like, why? And of course it's genetics, right? Of course you weren't gonna be 6 feet tall. You weren't gonna be 6'6", strapping and all those things, all those words they use. It's just not. It wasn't in your cards, and so those things are purely genetic, and they're not gonna. And you can't beat yourself up about the genetics that you got. So you might as well just be accepting. Everything works good for you. You have fun in your body and all these things, and you just let the other stuff go. And you can still have a good time with them. And yeah, but feel good about yourself. So I guess that's the moral of the story, because it could have been tough.
Well, I wonder the people who did grow, so that you're now 58.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that was 40, 50 years ago.
Oh,
yeah. So now, you might have thought then you weren't athletic enough.
Exactly.
But actually, at 58, you can go out and ride 100 miles on your bike in a heartbeat.
And most of them cannot.
Most of them cannot.
That's right.
So you see, over time, time is really, time's where it's at.
That's right.
Everything.
That's right.
Time. It's the thing that we have, we don't have.
Yeah.
Except for now.
Yeah, we have now. Because when we're looking at it, we can't see down the road. But then when we are there, when we are down the road, so you get to the 58 years old, and you go, oh. And, most of your peers are not doing the same things that you are or have the ability to.
Or it doesn't feel how you thought. I mean, I can remember in my law, medicine and ethics class at law school, we were talking about, should you be able to choose when you die, right? And then also living wills, and then what would be the point where you say, okay, this is where I want to die. Now, if you're writing that at age 30, what you conceive to be, and this is what they were saying to us, what you conceive to be acceptable at 70, maybe when you get there, maybe more is acceptable, and that may be true. But I also know that it's probably not as true as we actually think, because I would think, by the time you got to 50, maybe you wouldn't worry about this or that. No, I think you are still absolutely concerned with all of your humanness, and so. Yeah, I don't know why I'm saying that.
Or maybe even more so. Well, the decisions that you make early in life.
Oh yeah, the decisions that you make early in life, right? So that's and we don't know how long we have, but if we are graced with time, then wouldn't you want it to be like the best time that you can have?
Exactly.
And that comes, the first part is with accepting who you are, so that then you can be the best of who you are, and you can take that through. And it's not like you're at the gym 5 times a week working out to go and be able to do that. You have, your body just is what it's done forever. Yeah. And so it's just got that ability. Right. And that is your one of your gifts and genetic combinations. Exactly. And so.
And we all have these gifts.
Absolutely. All of us. Every single, maybe you can't ride 100 miles, but... you have a gift in bringing people together, or you have the gift in seeing good in others where no one else does, or you have the gift of giving the world a smile. I think that's one of the greatest gifts that we have, and we forget that one because we can't wrap it up, and we can't give a credit card for it, and we can't get it supersized. But it actually, what makes you feel anything better than even, especially a stranger just smiling at you, and you just smile back. You have a moment. A human moment in a very non-human world, which is so bizarre.
Some people have very welcoming characters. People have what's the thing that people
nurturers?
first appearances. That whole thing. Because I think those things are judgments anyway. But some people have very welcoming characters. For example, you see the person walking down the street, and you just want to talk to them or be their friend, and that's how they show up every day. Like it's not a thing. It's just that's how they are, and so that's a gift for them. And,
Yeah.
You know, because just a few days ago, I was like, I'm gonna smile all day, and I could not get through the day smiling all day. Because it was something. It was a car, and I was just like kind of getting grumpy about it, or the doctor. Oh, it was the doctor's office. I was just like, oh, come on. The girl at the front didn't have the paperwork. Oh, well, I was just here last week. It's just like, and I was trying to smile through it. And some people can do it a lot better than me, so I have to work at it.
Practice. It's a practice.
It's a practice. So
it's definitely a practice.
So we all have our own gifts, which is cool.
But all I do know, what I don't know, is that we're just sitting and dropping.
Sitting and dropping.
Every day for 40 days. And
Day 9.
Day 9, and it is a kind of a time to look forward to, in a way, of just knowing that it's coming. You've got not got to do it, but you are doing it, and so you do really get to drop. And I didn't necessarily know that when I called it sit and drop. I mean, that was the intention, but the actuality of it is dropping deeper and deeper, and clearer space and clearer space. Like much less. I wasn't even thinking about. So she's just enjoying. The dehydrator was on, and the chimes, and that's about all I could hear. So we'll be back tomorrow.
We will.
What day is it tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday, so
yeah.
We're not travelling tomorrow. Travel Thursday. So 12:12.
Yep.
Yeah.
12:12.
Will you join us? Sumium Wolf, lovely of you to join us in South Africa. I've seen you here before, and I guess maybe is it daytime there? Are we on a similar? I know that different parts of South Africa are different, so yeah, we'd love to hear from you, and let us know down below. Have you done any sit and dropping, and are you ready for a little bit of spring cleaning in your mind? What might pop up if you do? That definitely has been for me, that things have popped up, inspirational things, things that don't otherwise, pieces coming together, just floating around, forming, and then going, and I'm like, oh, and then something else comes and says, oh, I reckon that. So,
Building blocks.
Minute by minute. We love you.
Satnam.